So now we're going to talk about Saturday for just a short bit. We're at Foster right now, and if you look over there, that is where the East Campus parking garage is, right behind this hall. And that is where our green group students are parking. So we're giving them maps on Friday night that tell them where to go. They're parking at the East Campus garage, and then they're going to enter in through these doors of Foster. The doors that are on the corner of 3rd and Bagby is where we're going to be encouraging all green group guests to enter. If you're on the parking team and you're working at the garage, you are looking for families who are parking and coming here to make sure that they are in fact green with that green lanyard and that they're heading to Foster. If anybody parks there and they get out and they're wearing a gold lanyard, you need to make sure that you send them to Waco Hall. They can go and park in Spate Garage if they're still in their car, or they're welcome to walk, or we'll have shuttle drivers going around. So any of those options are great. And then if they don't have a lanyard at all, you will have an admissions counselor with you who will have a list of all of our registered students, and you can find out the name of the student, what color group they're in, and direct them from there. Green, park there, come to Foster. Gold, park in Spate, go to Waco Hall. Okay, so now we're inside Foster. Everybody's entering through those doors that we just looked at, and they'll be coming in here. So for our green group students, they are following an unconventional track of the event and starting their day with the academic session and then moving on to lunch and a campus tour. So what we're gonna have set up in this lobby is right down this hallway. We're gonna have breakfast here, and then right around this pillar down here, we're gonna have common grounds beverages. And so students and parents can come in, grab some food, grab some drinks for their morning. It's great. Come with me.
Come on.
Let's go.
Come on.
Okay, so right here in this little cove, we're gonna have tables, and this is where our swag bags are gonna be set up. So every single student who walks in the door for Invitation Excellence gets a swag bag. Inside the swag bag are t-shirts. The swag bags will be in bins based on sizes. And so a student walks up, what size t-shirt? Great, here's your bag, have a great day. That's it, one bag per student, that's it. Breakfast, drinks, and then if they did not check in on Friday and they are arriving for the first time on Saturday morning, over against that wall, we're going to have late check-in. So that's where we'll have lanyards, that's where they'll get all their information and everything for the day. So if you're working in Foster and you notice anybody has not checked in, send them to check in. Every student, regardless of checking in Friday or Saturday, gets a swag bag here. And then we will have people helping to hold open the doors and hand out programs as everybody enters. Now, the biggest thing about Foster Atrium, since this green group is going to their academic session first, they have been asked to arrive in Foster by 8 a.m. Their academic session starts at 8:30 a.m. In every corner of Foster, so we're gonna probably have one in that corner, one in that corner, one right here, and then one near the entrance. We're gonna have admissions counselors holding signs that says honors, business, health and human sciences, engineering. And they're gonna have student foundation members grouped with them. You're gonna help, if you're in Foster and you're part of the helping crew, you need to look at the back of their lanyard to find out what academic session they're in and send them immediately to one of those 4 locations. So when you get here, make sure that you understand where business, honors, engineering, and Robbins Sciences are going to be stationed, so that when you look at the back of their lanyard and it says you're going to honors, you know exactly where to send them. And from there, the admissions counselor and STUFU volunteers are going to escort them to their academic sessions. And so that's happening.
There's going to be probably about 3 groups or 3 different times that a group leaves to go to their academic session. So if you're escorting family and you see a group of students walk off at 8:10 or 8:12, you don't have to rush them or run them to that group. You can calmly take them to that professional staff member, the admissions staff member who's waiting there, who will take the next group when they get about, 20 to 30 to 50 students. So just know that there's going to be a couple trips. The last one will probably leave at about 8:20 to get to that session, if not a little earlier. But that'll also be on the minute by minute. But just know that that'll be happening in waves.
And we will have the STUFA members hanging back for any students who arrive late on Saturday morning, and they'll be walking them individually afterwards. Starting at 8:30, the parents are having an opening welcome session throughout the atrium. The president's speaking, Jessica, our AVP, is speaking, and we're just kind of going to welcome them to the event and give them some event details for the morning. And so that's going to be about 8:30 to 8:50. So if students are walking in at that time, we want to quietly, help them, but welcome them, give them a swag bag, and then everything's going to kind of be over here at the check-in station, where we can get them paired up with a STUFA member to walk to their session. So we will have that if we have late arrivers. But all throughout the atrium is where the opening session will be, and that ends about 8:50. And so we're gonna head upstairs to look at the parents' lounge area, so that you can kind of get an idea of what that's gonna look like, because that will be the rest of the day here in Foster. So here we are on the second floor of Foster. Behind me is Foster 250. This is where the parents' lounge is going to be set up. And so some of you are on the minute by minute to help Tori set up the parents' lounge. Y'all will be doing that the entire time that all the stuff we just talked about is going on downstairs. And so this needs to be ready to rock by about 8:30. If you're working in the parents' lounge, we have an admissions help desk where families can get basketball tickets, Wi-Fi cards, campus maps, event assistance, admissions assistance. They can submit deposits as well. We have our bear team working snack and drink tables, and so they'll have popcorn and cookies and drinks and Airmark snacks, and so we'll be restocking, replenishing, and helping guests get that. And then we'll also have financial aid conversations happening. And so we have, I think, 7 financial aid counselors in the parents' lounge all day. And families can go up, get a number. When their number's called, they can meet with a financial aid counselor, ask their questions. But we also have admissions staff stationed at a table to take down financial aid appointments for the 2 weeks following I2E. This is so helpful for families who have more specific questions, who really want to dig into talking numbers, and who just need to look into their student's file and figure out what Baylor can offer and what solutions they can be pursuing. So if you talk to a family who wants to have conversations on the day of or set up future appointments, this is a great place to do that. We will also have that in Waco Hall, the future appointments, and we'll talk about that when we get to Waco Hall. But just so you know, the financial conversations that happen on Saturday with a counselor happen inside the Parents Lounge. Parents Lounge will function from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we'll just be running all day. If you're working in the Parents Lounge, you're probably on a rotating lunch schedule, so make sure that if you are working a station, you never leave that station without somebody else taking over for you and fully understanding their role and responsibility. And just let us know if you have any questions about your job in there. I do want to talk about sessions, so we'll do that in just a second. Okay. So here we are. Some of you have been given the role of being a session monitor for the parent sessions. We have 11 this year, and so there are a lot, and we need great greeters like you to help us out. So room 118 is hosting the engineering and computer science session, and so one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to have those e-clips. They hold signs, and so we're going to have a sign outside of every classroom hosting a session, and then inside We want lights on, we want waters for the speakers, which admissions staff is setting out in the morning when they arrive. But if you're a session monitor, when you arrive to your classroom, you want to make sure that the sign is still out front, that the lights are on, that there are waters for the presenters, and that it's ready to go. You'll be greeting the presenters for each session and then greeting the families as they arrive. And so please just know your schedule from the minute by minute and understand the schedule of what's happening in the parent program so that you can assist families when they're looking for something to do. Welcome to Penland.
Hi.
Also, please notice all the people so excited for Penland to open.
Oh, yeah.
Steps behind us. Okay, so we're going to talk about Penland for a second. You know, we've got the green group and the gold group. They are eating at 2 separate times so that Penland can handle that. Our gold group that starts in Waco Hall, when they leave Waco Hall from their faculty and traditions presentation, they're going to go on a campus tour, and then they're going to eat lunch in Penland from 10:45 to 11:45. They will leave Penland to go to their academic session, and so on. So 10:45 to 11:45, our gold group is eating inside Penland. They're going to enter in through the main doors. We have people who are stationed to hold the doors. We have people stationed to give out meal cards to everyone that enters. We have people stationed inside Penland to assist with any confusion, making sure that everybody knows that it's tapas style, that there are lines everywhere. They do not have to stop at the salad bar. They don't have to stop at the sandwich line. They can go around that and get pizza, barbecue, Mexican, whatever they want, they've got it. So please, 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 if you're a tour guide giving a tour, tell them how Penland works before they ever step foot into Penland. Please tell them they're going to walk in, give them the meal card. They're going to have so many options. It's buffet style, tapas style. They can go to any line at any time. And then when they're finished, they need to take their plates, their cups, their forks, their trash, everything to the conveyor belt in the back of Penland. Those are crucial words that need to be spoken to these students before they enter Penland. And then we have our people, our inside Penland guides who are working to help while they're in Penland after they've already heard that message to continue pushing that message while they're inside. Some of you are our lunchtime includers, and so we want you scouting out and looking for people who don't have anybody to have lunch with. And so if you see someone sitting by themselves or not really knowing where to go up, introduce yourself, sit down, talk to them. Lunch is only an hour, you'll make a new friend, it's gonna be great. Those are some of the inside jobs in Penland, but like I said, the gold group, after their campus tour, they're entering in those main doors of Penland to have lunch. When they're finished, 11:30 to 11:45. This side entrance over here, it's over by the coffee and the cereal and the desserts, one door only. Every gold group student is exiting that side door, okay? So they enter in the main doors, they exit out the side doors. When they exit out that side door, we're gonna be spread out here on 4th Street, 3rd Street, 4th Street, and taking them, grouping them up, and taking them to their academic sessions. At that same time that we're getting gold group out of the side door, green groups are finishing their academic sessions, and then we have some of you going to pick them up from the 4 locations, and you're walking them to Penland for their lunch, and y'all are going to bring them in the main door. So while gold is exiting the side, green is entering the main door, okay? And then we're running that operation again for the green group. And when the green group is done, since they're our last group having lunch, they can still enter out the main door. And we will have our bears out here ready to go to give tour number 2.
I was gonna say again, if you're walking the green group from their academic session to Penland, again, be sure to talk to them about how Penland works so that they don't all clump up at the front or all stand in the salad line when none of them actually want a salad anyways. Let them know that they can go all throughout Penland and get whatever they want.
That is such a good point, Justin. Yes, because the gold
Thanks,
group.
Alexis.
Because the gold group, they're on tours, so you're already in smaller groups and you need to make sure and tell them. But green group, you're gonna have like 3 or 4 of you picking up a batch of students of like 100. So y'all are gonna have to work amongst yourselves to like get them and tell them about it, and then maybe walk to Pinland. That's probably the best bet, to actually have their attention and say, okay, this is what we're gonna do, you know, tell your group of students. So just be mindful of that so that every student knows before they go in how it works.
Talk a little bit about Waco Hall. We haven't covered that in any of the videos we've done. We're not actually going on site. Waco Hall is a little easier to manage than Foster, but essentially if you are at Waco Hall, across from Waco Hall at Judge Baylor, there will be common ground set up, and there will be shuttles that will be picking people up from Spate Parking Garage and shuttling them down to Judge Baylor and dropping them off at the drinks. Guests have the option of getting hot chocolate or coffee before they head into Waco Hall, barring rain. If there is rain, we are going to move the drinks probably inside of Waco Hall, but for now they're scheduled or slated to be stationed across from Waco Hall in front of Judge Baylor. Some of you will be stationed there. Some of you will be holding the doors open to Waco Hall. Others of you will be handing out bags and greeting guests as they come in. Guests are not allowed to take their drinks inside of Waco Hall, and so just be mindful of that and kind of let guests know as they're walking up, or if you see them kind of walking towards the auditorium, just politely tell them, hey, feel free to enjoy your drink in the lobby, and then we'll get you can head in after you finish your drink. There will also be a late check-in area at Waco Hall. If you walk in, the left side is under construction. There's a couple booths, I guess is what you'd call them, but the one on the left is under construction, so that's not accessible. But the 2 windows and then the one on the right are going to be utilized for late check-in and parent resources and things like that. So some of you guys will be scheduled, are supposed to be helping out with late check-in or the resources, things like that. The booth on the right is going to be for parent resources, so it's going to have give parents the opportunity to sign up for a financial aid phone call if they're wanting to do that over the next couple of weeks. They can get basketball tickets. They can request basketball tickets there for the Baylor versus Alabama game, or they can pick up any other items about different departments or academic areas if they're wanting to do that. Speaking about basketball tickets, we have 200 reserved. We can get more, but we're going to have 100 at Waco Hall and then 100 at Foster. And so the way that works is parents are going to be notified in both of the opening sessions about the opportunity to pick those up, and so essentially they'll just walk up to where those tickets are at. So at Waco Hall, it's going to be that booth, and then it's going to be in the Parents Lounge, Foster 250 at Foster, and they'll pick up those tickets. If we run out of tickets, we can always request more, but if a parent is asking about going to the basketball game at 11, let them know that they can pick up tickets either Foster or at Waco Hall. And again, if we run out and need to request more, those will be at Foster. And so if we go through those 200 and need more, you can send parents from Waco Hall to Foster to pick those up. Again, the gold group starts at Waco Hall, and so they start with the traditions presentation. They get to hear from a faculty member. They get to learn about the Honors College, pre-med, and pre-law, and then they head out to their campus tour and then go to lunch. Julia and myself and Rick will be helping man Waco Hall, so if you have questions at one of us, or find Rick or Julia to help get your question answered about what your job is or where you need to be. Great. So I wanted to provide a little context and explain a little bit about Invitation to Excellence for those of you who don't know what it is. So Invitation to Excellence is our largest scholarship event that we host. Specifically this spring, we're going to have about 900 students here on campus with their families, and so over 2,200 people are going to be here for this event. So it starts obviously Friday night with a reception. Saturday, students take part in an academic session, go on a campus tour. Parents have parent sessions they can go to. They can hang out in the parents' lounge, and then everybody comes back together at the end of the day for the closing session, which consists of a Q&A by some of you guys, actually, some of our current students. But since this event is so large, well, let me back up. So Invitation to Excellence, like I said, is a scholarship event. Every student receives $2,000 just for showing up at the event, and then they are all competing for full tuition faculty scholarships. So typically there's about 4 to 6 of those given away, but we've doubled that number because there are a double number of students. And since there are double the number of students, we've split things up into the green and gold groups. So essentially we're having 2 Invitation to Excellence events happening at the same time. They're starting in different places, and essentially they're flipping, doing the opposite or mirroring each other, and at the end of the day they all come back together. So the gold group starts in Waco Hall, that's about half of the students, and then the green group starts in Foster. Green group students go to their academic session first, and then gold group goes to their academic session in the afternoon, and so then they flip. They do what the other person did the other part of the day. So they essentially flip. And again, those students are competing for full tuition faculty scholarship. They're notified later in the semester after they submit an essay that's due a week after the event in their Go Baylor account. So they'll write an essay and submit that through their Go Baylor account to qualify for that scholarship. If you're at Waco Hall and you're helping out, and then you're greeting guests, you're welcoming them, and then in turn giving those students a campus tour, that would be the gold group, and you're walking them to Penland, you're then gonna eat and then turn around and give another tour to the green group students after they eat lunch. So just be aware that you might be doing double duty giving tours, so just be sure you're paying attention to your minute by minute.
Thanks for watching these videos. Don't forget to read your minute by minute. Let's bring them home on Friday and Saturday. Sick 'em bears.